let's call this bucket a job. Or we can even call it life. And inside this bucket is water. And we'll call that water currency. You get it. Currency, like a current. We'll just call it money. And then this rag, we'll call it person. And this person goes to the job to get money. And all is good. Yay. And before that person even leaves the job, the money's already leaving them. Bills, life, material, they're just squeezing everything out of that person. So now the person has to go back to the job to get the money. And before that person leaves the job on the way home, the money is already leaving them. Life, bills, materialism, squeeze the life out of that person to the point where that person's is left out to dry. About 2 years ago, our oldest son built this by himself. He was 15, and everything that you see in here, it was just stuff from our land. All the trees, all the branches, the ceiling, everything. He built this by himself. And this is one of the reasons why we moved out to our land, was so that our kids could create, so they could be free, and whatever they felt inside, that they could do it freely, and how they went from there, so be it. But they could learn as they grew. All of these branches, all of the wood, he cut and carved out himself. And he didn't know anything. Every single material that's in here was free. As you can see, it's just logs and branches. And this was 2 years ago. And everything is holding up pretty well. There's a big log here. And it required nothing but his time, his heart, his soul. And I guess you can say blood, sweat, and tears. He uses this room to work out in. These are all his weights. This is like his gym area. He built this building as well. I don't know what it is, but he built it by himself. And he just figured it out as he went. And again, all of this material in here was free and from the land. Picture a world where they shut down the whole world. Picture a world where they increased all the prices on all the goods and all the merchandise and all the supplies. Picture a world where they made it extremely hard for you to go anywhere. Wait, they did that already. Couldn't possibly do that again, huh? A couple of years ago, right before the world shut down, my family and I, we bought some land this property that we're on right now. We actually closed on this land the same month that it happened. Didn't even know what was about to happen. A couple of months before we got this land, I walked into work and I quit my job. At the time we had 5 kids, but something was telling me we need to do something and we need to do it now. Before we sold that house, we had already started to prep. We had like an upstairs, and underneath that stairs there was a closet, and so we built a shelf in there, and we just started kind of stocking things. And we took what we learned from that and we brought it to this land. When we decided to buy this land, we had a whole list of properties that we were looking at. And there were a lot of properties to look at. We live off of a dirt road, and there were at least 10 properties on this road. Now everything is bought up. And the majority of these properties are all off of private dirt roads, including mine. I noticed that when we go to the city, they're building a lot more apartments, and they're building houses smaller. And the houses that they're building, you can literally stand in between them and almost touch each house. And they're building these houses and townhouses and apartment buildings where everybody is stacked up on top of each other, and it takes 45 minutes just to drive 2 miles down the road. These things are all created by design. When I was growing up, they were like, oh, the world's overpopulated. There's land out there. There's plenty of land out there, but they're just not showing it to you. You have to find it, and you have to get it. Everything is being shown to you to keep you doing from what you really want to do with your life. It's like that old carrot in front of the rabbit. You're never going to get it. It doesn't bring happiness. You should buy your own land because you can live how you want to live. When we bought this land, it was all woods. And I had no idea, we had no idea what we were doing when we got this land. But we knew that we needed to start fresh. We knew that we needed to move out of the city, and we knew that we needed to take our life back in our own hands. This shed, which is paid for, fully owned, this was the second thing that we put on our land. And if you look back in our older videos, we showed you how we did a shed tiny house conversion. And this tiny house shed helped us to establish our life here on this land. We sold our house in the city, and then we bought this RV for our family of 8 to live in. And we drove this RV to our land, and we had to figure it out from there. Earlier this year, we bought some land in Nevada. And again, this paid for RV is going to play a role in how we live out there in Nevada. There is no mortgage on this, and there is no rent on this. You can find used RVs out there from private sellers or even dealerships. No mortgage, no rent, and you can live in this on your land, mortgage-free, rent-free, depending on how your land is owned. When we moved to our land, we knew absolutely nothing about land. We knew absolutely nothing about nothing. We just knew that we needed to get to our land, and we were going to start from the bottom up. And I will tell you this, whatever it is that you need to know, whatever skills that you need to have, you have it inside. Even if you don't know anything about it, it will all come to you and you'll figure it out. Rent is increasing rapidly. As soon as it's time for your rent to be renewed, 9 times out of 10, that rent is going to increase. Because why? What else you going to do? Listen, what do you hear? Absolutely nothing. You cannot get that sound of nothingness in the city, in a residential area. You cannot get that sound. Silence. When you own your own land, you can hear you can hear your dreams, you can hear your aspirations, and you can hear silence. Everything is designed to take from you, from me, until you have nothing else to give. And then even then, they're gonna try and charge $50,000 to somebody for your casket. When we moved to our land, we didn't even have reception out here. And even now it's very sporadic. For years, we really don't even know what's going on in the news. We don't know what's going on in the world. Only time we really know if somebody walks up to us or calls and says, hey, did you hear about such and such? And we're like, oh. When you're out here in the woods and when you're out here on your own land, you can dictate what you want. Again, as you hear or as you don't hear, the only noise that we really get out here on our land is the noise from our family, the noise for our animals, and gunshots. Good gunshots. We live out in the country and out in the woods. The rising costs in the world will always go up. They will never go down. And even if they do go down, they're going to go down a little bit and they're going to go back up. They're going to go even higher. When you're out on your own land, your way of life changes. The things that I used to care about years ago, I don't care about those things anymore. You have to ask yourself this question: what is important to you? Move towards the things that are important to you, and 100% move completely away from those things that are not important to you. If it does not build you up, if it does not bring you joy, and it only holds you back or down from what you truly want to do or what you want to be or where you want to get to, bye-bye. Right now, currently, we're in the back of our land. For the most part, our entire property is woods, and we don't have to do anything with it. And we can just roam around free out here. There's no HOA. There's nobody saying, hey, you need to mow that. You need to take that down. You need to put that up. You can do whatever you want when you're on your own land, depending on the zoning. But you have the freedom to live how you want to live. When you have your own land, you can prep and you can stock as much as you want to. We live in Florida, so year round, we're already prepped up. We make sure we're prepped on food. We make sure we're prepped on water. We make sure we're prepped on gas. We make sure we're prepped on ammo. Because of natural disasters, including hurricanes here in Florida, what happens when a hurricane comes? A lot of times, a lot of people wait to the last minute. Even with the hurricane, you see the hurricane coming. We have enough notification, enough days that the hurricane is coming. And what happens? A lot of people wait to the last minute, and the lines to get out of the state of Florida are crazy. The lines to the gas stations are crazy. We don't evacuate. We stay right here. We stay on location. We stay on our land because we have everything that we need on our land. You ain't got to get ready if you stay ready. And speaking of food, when you own your own land, you can grow your own food. You can stock your own food. You can prep your own food. You know exactly what's going in your food. When you own your own land, you can have as much garden as you want. You can grow your own food. You can prepare your own soil. You can and you can stock your food year round. Our garden has taken us a while to build up, and we're still building it up. But from every step of the way, we've known exactly what has gone into this. And everything has been prepared on our land, let alone what's in the foods that they're selling in the grocery stores. You can grow your own food. You can grow your own nutritious food and know exactly what we're putting in our body and the fuel that we need to carry on in our day. We told you this story in an earlier episode of how we lived in this HOA community and we were growing sunflowers in the front yard. Got a letter in the mail from the HOA, hey, you need to move those sunflowers to the backyard or we're gonna fine you. And it was just some sunflowers. So that was one of those key moments that we were like, you know what? We're gonna get our own land and we can do what we want to on our land and we can grow what we want to on our land. If you like privacy, peacefulness, serenity, quietness, and no traffic, you might want to buy your own land before it's too late. We got an orange here, and we're gonna eat this, and we're gonna see how much traffic goes by here. No cuts, no edits, except cutting this orange. I come up here a lot just to hear the wind blow. I never knew what the sound of the wind blowing was like until I moved out here. It's a good orange. This is what I was saying about earlier about losing touch with the world, because there's nothing out here really except nature and animals. The sounds of nature and the sounds of freedom. The orange is done. There's no traffic. This is really a bad place to hitchhike. You ain't gonna see nobody for miles and days. And if I wanted to, I could bust out another orange. If you're looking for relaxation and peace, you might want to buy your own land before it's too late. All right, how do I get down from here? I have a friend who was/is going through a situation. They're in a bad relationship situation and they were trying to get away. For years, I have been trying to tell them, hey, you should buy your own land. You can get one of these sheds, convert it into a home, no mortgage, no rent. You can get you an RV like the one that we showed you earlier, paid in cash, no mortgage, no rent. Somehow they were able to get funds to move into an apartment by themselves. And they also have dogs. I think they were only allowed to have one dog in the apartment. That was the rules of the apartment complex, and I think they have 2 or 3. Needless to say, they walked out the apartment with the 3 dogs to go walk them, and a neighbor who lived across the hall in the apartment came out at the same time with a little dog. And their little dog started barking, and their dog started barking. That person told the apartment, what do you call them, managers, the apartment manager, and got on to them about, the situation. So now they're literally, because they have nowhere to take these dogs, so they're literally hiding in their apartment with these 3 dogs, trying to keep them hush-hush while they figure out what to do next. When you're on your own land and you're out on your own land, depending on the zoning, And I always say zoning because every city, every town has their own zoning rules, and those are things that you have to look up. I can only speak from our circumstances here in Florida and also our zoning in Nevada, which they're both agricultural zoning. So we can do whatever we want on our land. When you're on your own land, you can have whatever animals you want, for the most part. As many of them as you want. So speaking of animals, I was trying to show you the ducks in the pool. You might have been able to see them in the screen, but they're still young and very skittish. If you're thinking about having animals, you might want to consider buying your own land. I'm gonna go in here and fill up their chick duck feed. Ooh, y'all low. Let's get you some feed in here. There you go. Okay, all right. Take it easy. Before we moved out here, we knew nothing about raising animals other than dogs and cats. And since we've been out here, we've learned from the bottom up how to raise animals, what they need, you know, gone through those bumps and trials and errors, but we didn't know anything. If you're thinking about raising animals, growing your own food, even if you don't know what to do or how to do it, those skills will come to you. That learning, and that's the key part, is the learning experience. The learning experience will come to you and will come along the way during that journey. The sooner that you get started, the sooner you can go through that learning curve. As we are, we're still learning. Our ducks are less than 2 months old, so that has been a major experience in itself because they're definitely different from raising chickens. But it's gotten easier now that we've got a setup. This is our duck pool rain barrel garden fertilization system. And with their elevated pool up here, we have a drainage plumbing system that we just turn this on, drain it in a bucket, and we can use that to naturally fertilize our garden. We're at the front of our property, and if you like nice walks in nature, nice walks on the beach, in the woods, all in the safety of your land, then you might want to buy your own land. We're going to start from one side of our land. We're going to walk down the whole fence line, no cuts, no edits. We might have to veer off the path a little bit because we do have trees and bushes here. So no cuts, no edits. Here's one corner. And we're going to walk down one of the short sides of our property, and we're going to take a nice hike. No cuts, no edits. Like I said, we might have to veer off. We put in each of these fence poles in on our land. We touch each one, all are in concrete. We're gonna cut through here. Like I said, we do live in the woods. You got your all-inclusive, you got your all-exclusive health fitness center right on your homestead, your farm, and your ranch. Like I said, there's a lot of bushes. I'm just hoping that the battery don't know. Can we cut through here? And we got barbed wire too. through here, cut through here. Like I said, if you're looking for a nice walk on the beach, on your land, you might want to buy land before it's too late. Sorry, it's a bush. We're going to cut over here to the side. Fence lines here. And if you just want privacy, and I'm walking at a fast pace, we're gonna cut around, just cut back through here. You know what, let's just cut through here. We're gonna have to go around this bush right here, but I'll keep the camera on. Swing around. Oh, let me get this setting right. That's all I'm doing. A little bright out here. Okay. Sorry, we got a big dog, so I had to put this table up here because he was barking at a dog that came through here, so my dog ripped a hole through this fence on the other side. But we're at the back corner. This is one of my other farm gates we installed. Okay. It doesn't matter if it's a 1/4 acre, 1/2 acre, a piece of acre, 400 acres. There's plenty of land out there, and you can start anywhere as long as you get your own land. And land is cheap. You can find land out there cheaper than a used car. You just have to do the research, and you have to look and find exactly what you're looking for. If we feel like things are bad now, we haven't seen anything yet. And also, what about our kids, our children? What's the world going to be like for them moving forward? We see how things are going right now. And speaking of land and speaking of our kids, land has been around forever. There should be not one lineage, not one family, where each of those family, there should be a piece of land and a piece of property in that lineage and in that family heritage. What happened to all that land? As we said earlier, this is Sean's house. He didn't know what he was doing. He had no experience, no skills. He just got out here and started building. And everything in here cost him nothing. He's debt-free, as you saw in there also. It was pretty dry. Get ready, be ready, stock up, and prepare. If you're thinking about buying land, do it before it's too late. I am Poetry, and thank you so much for watching Lanil Havenland Life.